Welcome to another edition of the More You NoCo podcast that's all about the people and places of Northern Colorado. Today we're talking to Juli Y Juan from Juli Y Juan's Kitchen about their love and passion for food and some crazy stories. Well, I'm here today with Juli Y Juan from Juli Y Juan's Kitchen, so welcome aboard. Thanks for coming and talking about your company. We're excited to have you.
Thank you, Nathan. Appreciate it.
Awesome.
We are happy to be here.
Oh, good. I'm happy that you're here. That's an important part.
Oh, yeah. We already got our coffee, so.
There you go. Tell us a little bit about yourselves. Tell us a little bit about your business.
Well, you can take the lead. No. In this case, you can take it first, and then I'll be a supporting actress.
In this case, ladies first. All right. My name is Juan, and this is Juli.
Yeah.
We moved to Fort Collins about 6 years ago, and we did not know that we were going to stay here. We just kind of were swinging by. We were doing a little thing called Share the Love tour, which I know it's the corniest name, but
Juan is a very corny guy.
We're very corny, so it's
true.
okay. It's all good. Love is a beautiful thing, so why not?
That's right.
And we were doing like this tour all around 13 states. It started just as a one dinner thing, and then somehow it just kind of evolved into this huge tour.
We had this friend that invited us to do his wedding here up in Laramie, Wyoming.
Uh-huh.
So we were in Playa, and he's like, "Oh, we'll fly you guys, and we'll do a rehearsal dinner, blah blah." We're like, "Oh, that sounds so much fun!" And we've been working with Americans from Colorado mainly for like the past 10 years up in Playa. So we got super excited. We're like, "Oh my God, we're gonna see everyone that we've seen for 10 years, blah blah." So we started telling people that we were gonna be around. That backfired in the best, most beautiful way because we started getting like invites to all of these places. It's my anniversary. It's my birthday.
Whatever. It's my elbow day.
Yeah,
sure. Why not? Let's throw a party. Why not?
So we end up having like 13 states booked for 4 months, and we're like, we can't fly. I mean, we have to move some way in the United States. Right. So we decided to pack our car.
We packed our car and we put our little apartment in Airbnb, literally with our dog also in the back, and we just kind of took a road trip, and we crossed through Texas. We moved here, and then we just did all those events everywhere. And on our way back, our friends were like, "Why are you guys going back? There's no point. I mean, everybody that knows you around here, stay." And I'm American, so we're like, "Yeah, why not? Let's just stay. And let's figure it out if this happens." So we started all the process of Juli getting her residency.
Thing, because I was I'm Mexican Colombian, and we were like, well, the biggest thing is that if they allow me to stay and they give me my papers to be here, a resident, then we'll do it, because he was American and we were married at that point. So we're like, in the meantime, we can give it a try. We've been in Playa for so many years, and I think we were ready for a change too, and it set the tone for a new adventure, and we were kind of curious, and we're like, well, why not? I never wanted to live in the United States, honestly. It was like, no, I don't think that's going to be a place for me, and it surprised me.
And now she doesn't want to go back.
No, exactly.
But we started here. We said, all right, what can we start doing? And the only thing that we could do was private chef. So we started private chef, and legally the only thing that she could do, what her papers were in the process.
I was donating my time.
Was to donate her time because we're married. So we're like, all right, let's start doing that. So we literally were completely broke when we decided to stay. We had like $700 in our pocket,
which we gave for the first month of rent.
Which we rented We rented the basement of some friends up here in Horsetooth, Alan and Kim. Woo! And which they helped us start a lot of stuff. But that's another story.
Awesome.
And we did that event that month, and then the next month we did 2 events, and then 4. And then
6 years later,
the papers came. We decided to stay, and before we knew it, we're doing 60 to 80 weddings a year and events all over around. And
that's because you guys are awesome at what you do.
Well, thank you.
Which just grows organically and naturally.
We just love what we do, and
honestly, we never thought we would be doing catering, Nathan. It was never something that we thought we were going to enjoy. Because in Playa, we did a lot of private chef, which is more like the one-on-one and more like smaller groups and things like that. And we loved that experience. Because there's like 2 different kinds of people that like to be in this industry. The ones that like to be behind, like inside the kitchen, so no one sees them. Because that's their comfortable zone, and they feel good about it. And there's the other part that likes to be in front, be the face.
More performance.
Yeah, more performers. And I think we're kind of that people. We love to be involved. That's why we go to all of our weddings. That's why it's not like you meet with us and then we send Pablo and Fernanda to do your event. You know, it's just not the same. So we love to be involved and to be part of all the experiences.
Yeah, we love to, since the moment we met somebody to the moment we're there on their event day.
Yeah.
It's just, awesome. Yeah, it makes a lot more fun.
Weddings, I think that was the thing with weddings, that weddings are so emotional, so invested by everyone involved in the process.
It's a very nice way to put it.
But it's a love ritual, so, we love that.
Yeah, that's right.
Very specific. So catering was like, we never took a lot of interest in the corporate side of catering because it's massive and really no one gives.
There's probably a lot more about numbers. And
there's no budget. Honestly,
exactly.
It's like we get quotes for catering and it's just like, all right, how many people? 240. Oh my God, that would be fun. And there's like $4
it's
per
like,
person.
what is your budget? I got $2 per person. And you're like,
how about Happy Meals? We can pick you up a Happy Meal.
It's like, here's your can of tuna and your fork.
Yeah.
Here's $4 of your catering.
Like, I'll give you the napkin with a cracker.
No.
So we got to the point that we're like, I don't think we are the caterers for that industry because we love to do everything from scratch. We love to go and pick up the vegetables and everything to make sure we use very little cans, only certain things that we have to bring, that we have to buy from other countries or other cultures and stuff like that. So it's just the budget, it just never works. And for weddings, it's the opposite.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's a feast. You're getting married once in your life.
Right. Do it right.
More times than not. Hopefully once in your life.
Right. There you go.
any food is important and that aspect of the feast is important, then we are that's what we love. We love the details. We love the flavor. We love the
way we see it is the meal of a wedding, which is obviously we love to do weddings. That's our main thing in catering. The meal of a wedding is not just food. It's telling a story. For example, when we did Alicia and Cody's wedding, it was about what Cody liked, what Alicia liked, and how we could bring those two together and put them on a table, and everybody could feel both of them in the table in the meal.
Oh yeah.
Because if you know the couple, you know why you're having sandwiches or why you're having onion soup, or why you're having, things like that. So it's very particular. We love to connect with those things because those are the things that make those experiences memorable.
Right.
If it's just a meal, it's just a meal. It's just a meat and a sauce that you don't even know what you were having.
If it's just a meal and you don't care about food, there's other catering companies.
We're not your catering company.
It's not that they don't care about food, but maybe they're not as interested on the experience to personalize it.
Yeah, it's just a totally different experience.
Yep.
It's we're gonna feed the masses, or we're gonna love what we do, and we're gonna bring it all together into something that's amazing.
Yeah, and we're gonna represent the couple who are getting married through the food.
Because it's not our moment; it's their moment. We want them to shine.
Yeah, so we've got couples that they met in Africa, and we're like doing African dishes, which we have no idea how, but we're there, we're trying to figure it out. We have couples that they love sandwiches, and we did like a whole sandwich bar. So it's just like what we always tell them. It's like, what do you want? You love hot dogs? Let's just do like 6 hot dogs, different, like every kind. It doesn't matter.
Gourmet spread of different hot dogs.
Yeah, have fun. Why not?
That sandwich wedding was beautiful because we did it at what it used to be the Preserve at Bingham Hill. It was a beautiful venue. And one of her best friends was getting married. So she was like, come and use my venue, we'll put blah, blah, blah. And then they put us in touch. It was a small wedding, like 50 people. So we did the whole spread with the sandwiches. We had the panini press. And it was, honestly, it looked so much fun. And people were getting there like, oh my God, what are you having for dinner? They were like, sandwiches. And I was like, oh, of course. She loves sandwiches.
Yeah.
Everybody knew that the bride was obsessed with sandwiches. She actually ate a sandwich for lunch before she got to her wedding to eat a sandwich for dinner.
And
like literally.
Yeah. That's part of it. And I guess one of the things that we always tell our couple, and that's why we love to meet our couples without their parents, and probably their parents are not going to like us when we say this, but we're always like, don't worry about anybody else but yourself. What do you want to have for dinner?
Right.
Like, yes, everybody's going to love what you choose.
Yeah, and everybody tries to make everybody happy. So
exactly.
Like, well, what's up?
And it's impossible because then you lower the quality of everything, and then everything becomes just very
Right.
No,
because you try to like...
You try to please everybody.
Everybody, and you end up with pulled pork with this and this.
Right.
Mashed potatoes and pulled pork.
And at the end, Nathan, what we want to do too, for example, when we talk to our couples, is that even though we never want to be disrespectful to parents, you guys already got married. You had your day, your moment.
Right, we've had our,
This is not for you. This is about them.
Right.
So when family gets involved, we're like, we love it because it's beautiful that you two are supporting each other and you're there
Right.
to help each
Yeah.
and in
But
the
we
journey.
can see the struggle
yeah.
on their kids
Yeah.
of trying to choose something that their parents are not approving, and they might be helping financially or whatever, and they feel forced to. And we're like, there's got to be a breakthrough here where parents allow their kids to have whatever they want because it's their day.
It's their day, yeah.
Whether they're helping monetarily or not, it shouldn't come with a condition.
Right.
It should be like, I'm going to help you monetarily, but whatever you want.
Yeah.
Because that's, for us, that's love. Love is unconditional. It shouldn't be conditioned. So we try to figure out a way to like talk to their parents and talk to them and like give them the strength for them to stand up for what they want.
That's awesome. Now, you've been doing catering for a long time, and you've got to have some great stories. So what is one that really stands out, good or bad? What's one that's just like, oh, I remember that one?
We've had some momsilas, braisilas,
We've had
some
them all.
grooms who are like, why are we talking about salads for 5 minutes? Yeah. Should be moving to the next subject.
It's
Meat.
a salad. Come
Yeah.
on.
It's a salad. Yeah, we definitely have really good stories. Good and bad. Let's talk about, I have one in particular that I'm more times than not, we have these phrases in the back of our uniforms, which is like good vibes and good messages.
Right.
For example, one that I have is equanimity, which basically means to stay at your center, no matter what it is that is happening. And usually a wedding, there's a lot of vibrations. Because once you get there, you're already against time. You have no backup, no pushing. The itinerary is rolling, and you have to be there on the train at the moment that you need to be there. So if dinner is at 6...
and there's many other artists also. So we're all collaborating into one event.
Exactly. You're not the only one. It's the event planner, the flower lady, the cake lady, the band, the family,
friends,
yes,
the clients,
everything, the
the guests.
photographer.
Right.
You have to take the pictures at sunset. It's like, damn, but we're in the middle of dinner. It's like, well, the couple is getting up, and you're like, ah! So all of these things are happening, and you try to cope with everything, and you know that there's going to be a stress, there's emotional stuff happening, so being at your center, and Juan, for example, has one that says respect nature, because we need nature, because we harvest what it gives us, so we can give it to you guys in the shape of a feast. So we are very respectful, and we love to appreciate the life of the animal that was obviously killed so we could cook it, all of this. We're very philosophical in the way we do things too. So it's like, for me, going to that point, I was like, I think I had even that shirt, equanimity, and it was already a complicated wedding, and we were already having issues with communications, right? It was not the easiest way to come in, and we're like, you know what, we're already here, we're in a beautiful venue in the mountains.
Yeah.
Impressive. You're like, it's in Bellevue up in there, so you're having your wedding here, and you could see like a big valley and the mountains in the back.
Stove Prairie Ranch.
Stove Prairie Ranch, thank you.
It's a beautiful.
They have like
Lori, we love you.
they have llamas, horses. I mean, you can go up an amphitheater that they have up in the rocks.
Yeah.
So beautiful. And we were doing this wedding, and we already knew that, we were being disrespectful. The bride was a little bit, ¿cómo se dice malcriada? Spoiled.
Yeah.
Yes.
She was.
There you go.
She was a little bit spoiled, and the parents, obviously, only child, and the parents were doing everything to keep her happy. But there's a point that there's so much that you can do. If a person is spoiled, no matter if you give her everything.
Never make them happy.
Never.
Especially in a high stress time.
Imagine.
Especially.
So we're talking about a girl that was already spoiled, her wedding day, only child. It was over the top. So when we got to the venue, there was already drama, not on our side.
That's right.
Drama on the venue with the bride, the parents.
Yeah, the families, and like they all, I guess even the family members already knew about her, and they were already having their own thing. So we're like, all right, let me cut here, cut through this thing, and like try to move forward.
So we got and we started talking to Lori, which we get along. We have our venues that we love to work with because they allow us to be ourselves. And there's some venues that we've been there, and they're so controlling, and so like the structure is so rigid that there's no room for us to feel free. So we can't shine the way we shine if they allow us. So we decided not to work with those venues. Anyway, we were there, and we were talking to Lori, and we saw Lori, and she was like already stressing out. And we were like, man, it's 12 o'clock, and the ceremony is at 5:30. We got a long time to go. We were like, Lori, how are you? And she was like, well, I mean, I've been better. And we were like, what happened? And she was like, oh, I gotta tell you. And we're like, okay. So apparently they started talking about whatever, and the location of the tent wasn't up to the bride's idea. So she literally pretended to faint. So she's like, ah. and just fell on the
Somebody
floor.
get her a fainting couch.
Literally. So
No,
fainted,
she
and then
was like-
the mom just run. I'm like, oh my god.
What are you doing? I'm
So-
gonna sue you. You know the
And then
whole
the dad
everything
started,
started and the
"I'm
whole
gonna
American
sue you."
thing.
Yeah, so Lori was like, okay, so this happened. So when we got there, that already happened. So that was like the vibe that we were getting. And we were like, oof, okay, let's get the mezcal out, let's drink a beer, and let's just cruise down, right? This is all we can do. We're already here, and we're
Yeah.
gonna have fun. So when our crew got there, we're like, this is gonna be a complicated wedding. This is the vibe. This is what we're expecting.
Right.
So obviously, as things progressed, like we said, there was already a tone there. So things started just rolling up, and they start rolling up on the wrong side, because it's just what it is.
It
So
started since it's so funny, but from the very beginning, when things just don't work the right way. Now we've learned that if they don't work the right way,
we
since
see the red
beginning,
flags, yeah.
We
Yeah.
see the pattern and
Right,
things, and then we
right.
stop it, and we're like, I don't think we're gonna have a good relationship. Let's just stop it here.
Makes sense, yeah.
But back then we didn't have the
And
experience.
Actually,
right?
I'm gonna,
But
yeah.
we did have the red flag. We just
Yes.
didn't follow through it.
So this is the thing. We know if you're a business and you're an entrepreneur, you need to find a balance between how much you need to make, the amount of numbers that are coming
Sure.
through, plus
Right.
the effort that you put in, the resources. Obviously, being the two of us, we're more artists than business people, and we've learned how to become business people in the last 7 years. And honestly, United States, oh my God, it's a PhD on how to make money.
Right.
Because in Latin America, we focus more on the experiences because life is not so expensive and it's easier to get
Sure.
by and you have family.
Right.
So anyway, with this couple in particular, it was a big wedding for us, and I think there was a few chances that we had the opportunity to make the amount of money that they had for budget. So for us was like, oh wow, it's a good
Yeah,
wedding.
I think it was like our first wedding that we were making more money than usual.
Yes. So we got really excited and we waved the red flags because
Right,
of the goal
right.
to make more money.
Mistake.
We learned that lesson really well.
Yeah.
This is why for us, we are first come, first serve. We do not sign any contracts until we get to know you and we know that we're moving forward.
Right.
Because we got ourselves into that pickle. And once we were there was no backing
no
up.
way
It
out,
was
yeah.
complicated from
Right.
start to finish. It was so complicated that, those things started to happen, blah, blah, blah. Even at some point, the family, she started throwing a tantrum for whatever. And the family was like, nope.
Yeah.
And they literally were like, nope. And walked away from her. We're like,
What do you do now? Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about the bride. And the family was like,
Yeah.
almost wanted to, bad sign on the finger and say,
Right.
no, I'm not doing this today.
Right.
So we're like, okay. So at some point we made it through dinner. They decided to do dinner in another place that they shouldn't.
We
It
brought
was-
the mezcal again, and we're like,
It was.
Yeah, get more Break
I
open
don't
another
think-
bottle.
I don't think we had enough alcohol that day to really get by.
we're like, where are the bartenders?
We got to the point of cutting the cake, and they were.
Holy, that was not a
Fixated.
cake.
That was not a cake.
It was a cake in the form of a tree.
So here's the thing.
Trunk or whatever.
The groom loved the lumber
Sure.
industry, all of those things. So the bride went through a lot of trouble to create or buy a cake or whatever, that it was in the shape of a log with like a beaver.
But it was like,
But we're talking about a wedding cake. It was maybe this big.
Like 3 feet.
Ridiculous.
it was literally,
it was not even the height. It was
is-
it was
massive.
literally a log of
Huge
a
around.
tree, of
Right,
a
right.
100-year-old tree,
So-
like there, like supposedly being a cake.
With a beaver.
With
Yeah,
the
with
same,
a
but
beaver.
it was like when we went to try to cut it.
So we cut the first. They had 2 cakes. So we cut the
Oh yeah,
bride's
that's
cake.
like the other one with
Right.
And that was another story. But we're not going to get into this one. So we cut that cake. There was another thing there. And then we're like, all right, let's cut the other cake, right? So I'm the one cutting the cake. Chef's knives are sharp.
Right.
I tried to dig into this cake, and I was like,
No, it was
the person that
literally
made the cake,
it was as hard as a tree.
the person that made the cake didn't know how to work the chocolate. So she literally
She just got a
made
big
the
block
cake,
of chocolate.
melted, and
Yeah.
poured on top
Oh,
by
man.
layers and layers and layers of
It was
hard
like-
chocolate. So we were not cutting into frosting.
You were cutting through
We were cutting
solid
through
chocolate.
layers and
Solid.
layers and layers
Like-
of solid
like-
chocolate. I
Like
was literally,
2-inch solid.
God,
Like we were like, all right, this is a tree log. Where is the machine that's?
I was
Yeah.
using all of my force. I was like, and I was sweating, already
we were
pissed
burning
at the
We were
situation.
burning the knife.
We were burning the knives with a
So we
torch
could
so
just,
we
like,
could
melt
melt
through
the
it.
chocolate.
So you can melt through
And
it.
then the mom just comes and says, this is taking forever. Where is the other cake? I didn't get the poppy seed. Did you cut the other cake? And I was like, lady, I'm like, I've been
You're the
struggling
I got a
with
knife
this.
in my
holding
hand.
the knife.
I got a knife in my
And
hand.
have been chugging booze all day.
And I
This is a
was
bad
like,
combo.
this is not, I grabbed my knife and I turned around and I left Juan and someone else. I was like, I'm not even going to talk to her because I'm already in a very thin line, holding a very sharp knife,
Yeah.
fighting with a cake for the last 20 minutes for you to, that's bullshit. No, like, no.
She was like, where's the middle layer? I was like, everything's in the table.
She said, no.
No, it's not. I was like,
Lady,
This is what we have.
there's
We're
no
like-
cake.
what do you want me to answer to that? I mean,
you see it. Get
I
another
will
cake.
go and count them if you want, but I mean, do you think I have them like under my feet? Yeah,
You were hiding them somewhere, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Pull it out from under your coat.
that whole wedding was.
But we learned a lot, Nathan,
Oh, yeah,
which was
yeah.
beautiful because we don't see mistakes for us are not failures. They're
Right.
lessons.
Right.
If you don't learn from those things, for example, we started, so if you're going to do a cake, it's like, who's your cake vendor? And do we need to cut the cake? How many cakes do we need to cut? So we prepare ourselves.
Right.
And if it's something really specific and we know that we can do it, we're like, you know what, that might be too complicated for us. So you need to outsource from someone else or have someone specific for that task. Because one thing is to cut a cake that is well done.
Sure.
It takes us 30 minutes to cut a cake for 150 people.
Right.
Give me a piece of cake like that.
Yeah.
It's going to be complicated and it's going to take me 1.5 hours. And you already have 8-9 hours on top of you
Right.
with stress to get to that point. Is like the cherry on top of
Yeah.
the.
Oh yeah.
It's just weddings. Like at this point, we already know that events in general. But since we do mostly weddings and anything, we kind of go straight to weddings. But mostly events, we already know. Like we wake up now after 6 years of doing them, and you realize that you become an electrician, a plumber,
Everything
a
you
chef.
need to be.
Yeah, you have to like
Everything.
figure it out because somebody told me the other day was asking me questions about catering, and I was like, "Can I give you the definition of catering? It's a problem-solving company."
It is. It really is.
yeah.
Because, for example, you take everything to the mountains, you guys. We drive
Oh, yeah.
1.5 hours to a ranch in the middle of Bellevue, which there is
Right.
nothing.
We have like
So-
200 feet of like electric cord in the van.
Sure.
We
If
have
you
the
forget
tape, the
something,
gas,
that thing is in your kitchen 1 hour away from you.
Right.
There is no solution. We were in a wedding up in the Woodlands or something like that, and when we were taking out a sauce for another wedding, there was a lot of commotion, and we lost one of the pans of the sauce,
In my
and we were
shoes.
and I was like,
Not only that, but it was like cheese
it was.
sauce, so it went through all the cracks of my
Of your shoes?
Oh.
We didn't have any sauce, and there was no supermarket near, and I was like, where's the mezcal? We gotta make it work.
Yeah.
There's
So
always
now,
like that.
now we know that always something happens.
Yeah.
So now, like before you get stressed, now you anticipate the fact that at some point something will happen because you can be
Right.
super relaxed and oh my god everything's
Very
going
prepared,
on, and then
yeah.
suddenly like the event planner comes and is like, hey, the groom and the bride decided to go and take pictures on the sunset right now, so they're gonna start the wedding, like they're gonna start the dinner half an hour before, and you're like, holy shit, put all this on there, put everything.
I'm not
in the
ready
pan."
for a half hour. Yeah.
So
Half
you-
an hour on a wedding when you have to cook a tenderloin,
Oh yeah.
you need 45 minutes.
Yeah, would
If
you
they
like a
push
raw
it-
tenderloin? 'Cause
Exactly.
You can serve that if you
Would
want.
you like it raw and cold? That's
Yeah.
perfect.
So
I
we
have
can-
it
That's how it
ready
is
for
right
you.
now.
We've been like, we started with a 1-page contract, and now it's like a 3-page. Where
Right.
everything that we learn, we start putting the clauses.
Yeah.
All right, you need to have this, and because we want it to be successful,
Right.
and we're the ones that have the experience because we've been doing 80 weddings a year for the past 3 years. Well, not the past 3 years necessarily because of COVID, but for the
Yeah.
past years. But so we always say this is one of those times that, in this case, the client is not always right.
Right.
Because when you go to somebody that has the experience, you have to listen to them. It's like we were doing
like
like
if
a
some-
tunnel thing
yeah.
done in their house, and the guy's like, "Hey, so do you want it here, or should I do this?" I was like, "I have no idea."
It's like if we
It's the
come
first
to
time.
you, yeah.
You tell me what you think. How many have you installed? 50 of those. What do you think is going to work the best for the room and whatever? So it's the same for
I
us.
think it's important for the client to let us guide them through the
Yeah.
experience that we have.
Right.
It's like coming to you to buy a house and trying to tell you things that, you've known for the past 30 years. I'm like, no. It's like, Juli,
Right.
what do you know about real estate? Nothing at all. What I read in a magazine, probably in your newsletter. I'm like, so it's like, I would be stupid. So someone that comes and says, well, but I read in this article. I
Yeah.
was like,
Why don't you
lady,
do it this way?
I got 20 years of experience.
Right.
It's
You
like
read
yeah.
in an article from someone that wrote it from an article that she found in Google.
Right.
No experience, no reference
Right.
whatsoever.
Yeah,
Not
so
gonna work.
It normally works better when you all collaborate.
Oh,
into
yeah.
this aspect.
Right.
and allow each other, and you work together to everything. And
The good thing is that we
each other.
continue to laugh about all the good and bad
yeah,
experiences.
we've had like ovens breaking down in the middle of it when we have to use them, and then they don't work, and we're just kind of like, holy shit, what are we gonna do? And it's like, it's not working, and like disarming it and putting it back together, and then eventually like we have.
It's
like,
horrible,
oh my God,
literally.
we're gonna serve dinner in like 40 minutes, and this stupid oven is not turning on. What the hell's going on? And I'm like trying not to tell Julie because we divide things. She takes care of some things, I take care of others. So I'm like already sweating back out there, and it's like, oh my God. And then so I only tell her until it's like
until we have.
there's nothing that
when
we
he's
can
already
do.
looking for an oven with the neighbors' houses.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh God.
So and then eventually like it just worked and it started.
And he's like, get everything up.
Everything
Or
at
like-
500 degrees.
Turn it up
and
to
like,
800. We'll get this done in 5 minutes.
throw all the meat in it.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
So this would be a great time to talk about our sponsor today, and I wanted to thank you all for sponsoring the podcast. If you want to take catering to a different experience, and now in real estate, I've had lots of experience with caterers, but I've never had the experience I've had with y'all. I mean, it really shows the difference of somebody that's out there that's just doing this as a business or doing this to make money, and people who really love what they do and the experience. And I mean, you guys are set into a different, not a different level. I mean, I'm talking like a different universe of working with you. You guys are awesome, and
different
it
country.
shows. It's really fun to work with people who love what they do, and it shows. So
No.
tell us a little bit about your
We,
social.
we appreciate it, and it's just because we don't have kids, so we have the time to do it. No, I'm just
Food,
kidding.
food is your love.
Food is our family.
No,
I think we focus on experience, Nate. That's what
yeah.
we love to create experiences. We love to create moments that are memorable and you will remember for the rest of your life. And we love to be a part of those things.
We're just a bunch of weirdos, nerds that love what we do. We're super passionate. We put together philosophy with chemistry and biology
culture.
and medical and biology, and we just kind of put everything together into that moment. And we try to figure it out. We also love performance, so we try to figure out what is the best way to have a fantastic cuisine, food experience for everybody in your event.
Plus a show.
Plus a show.
Yeah.
Plus have fun, and we love to have fun in it. And so that's pretty much where we focus our everything. We believe that there is
A culinary circus.
Yeah, we call ourselves a lot of that. We're a culinary circus. Yeah. But we believe that we kind of lost a little bit of the track of what it is the importance of quality of food.
Yeah.
And sometimes people say like, oh my God, your food is so good. Well, it's really just the old ways that we used to cook. It's not necessarily even
ingredients.
that.
Right.
It's not like we're putting like a special powder in there or anything. No, it's just the old ways of cooking.
I think
Right.
fresh ingredients, love behind the person that's making the food, and definitely a hungry belly.
Oh, sure.
You have to
Without
be
a hungry belly, there's not a good meal.
There
Yes.
you go.
It doesn't exist.
You
Maybe
can
a
have-
little bit of booze before that too.
There you go. There you go.
That
Yeah,
helps a
throw
lot.
Well, and I think just as a society here, we've really lost that touch of our relationship with our food. It's become something we just shove in and we don't pay a lot of attention to. And so when you have somebody who kind of slows you down and re-points out that relationship with your food by creating those experiences, it's just a whole different level of enjoyment.
I think we were in a very fast-paced world, and somehow COVID also slowed it down, and it's showing us also the importance of family, the importance of family meals, the importance of being, just slowing down and enjoying. I mean, the birds on the tree, the importance of sitting down and having a meal.
I think it's the ancestral connection to those moments too, Nate.
Oh, sure.
Like you said, for example, right now we're in such a fast pace that sometimes you even have lunch on your desk, and you're still on your computer and you're like shoving
Not paying
food,
any attention,
but you're not
right.
even.
Yeah.
You could be eating poop.
Yeah.
For all you
probably
care.
wouldn't know until you're
As
done.
long as it's nutritional, you're like, yeah, sure. Give me some
Whatever
calories.
it is.
For us, it's
we're
like
not cars. It's not gasoline.
no, it's not gasoline. It's meant to be a moment of community, of gathering, of conversation. And I'm not even talking about even if you eat alone. It's conversation with your food, being mindful of that moment that you're putting
Beautiful.
whatever your body needs. Your body needs that to be healthy, so you can have the energy, so you can look radiant and pretty and be happy and share.
it's
Without
just-
good food, none of that exists.
We take it for granted now because you go to the supermarket and it's there. And not anymore. We go to the supermarkets now and they're empty. And you're like, holy shit, what's going on now?
Where do I find
This is
anything?
completely un-American. But you know what? I'm happy that it's happening because it's also shaping our culture. It's shaping it to understand that not everything is at
Available
the
all the time.
fingertips,
Right.
and that is such an important factor that we live in Latin America all the time.
Huh.
So it is very important to understand that. Also, food, the relationship that we normally have with food is something that, like I said, we take it for granted because it's there. But our bodies and like nature and humans, as us as animals or us as whoever everybody wants to see.
Since we start evolving as a species, we evolve with
There
food.
is a communication like the apple is red for a reason. It's red because it entices us to go and pick it up. It's
It
not
calls
red
for your
because of a
attention.
random reason. No, it's
Sure.
red because for us red is a color that attracts. That's why our blood is red, and we associate humans and plants are in a codependent interspecies. So they give us the apple, we eat it, we throw their seeds over there,
And then another tree.
and then another tree. So at the end, you say, who's using who? Are we using plants,
Right,
or plants
right,
are
or
using
seasons.
There's
us?
actually a really good documentary. I don't remember the name right now. I wish I did. But it talks about that. It talks
Sure.
about how humans think that we are using nature. Aha! Please, no, it doesn't exist. Nature is using us to continue to thrive. That's why birds go and eat the berries and then they fly
Sure,
hundreds
and
of
spread the
meters and
seeds
then
around
they
and-
poop and then another tree. It's the same. It's the same relationship.
Right.
For us.
So there's some plants that need us. Like right now, for example, if you look at corn, like corn wouldn't survive without humans. Like we've created those relationships for hundreds and hundreds
Right.
of years. So it's yeah.
And the flavor of food, it's really the relationship, it's the gift from nature to
So
us.
you can
Through our tongue, through our nose, through our eyes, so we can have that relationship. It's the pleasure of doing something. It's the reward of taking care of something.
when you eat
So-
a really sweet strawberry,
Right.
it's beautiful for you, and the plant is grateful because you're helping her spread the seeds, but you're also getting that
yeah.
reward.
So
Sure,
it's
sure.
you give out is
it's a trait,
It's a trade. It is always a trade of communication, a trade of
and we believe life works like that, Nathan. Like
Yeah.
relationships in life is the
Yeah.
same thing. We give you guys whatever, and then in return you get the same.
Yeah.
So that's why it's always like, never be selfish of not giving. Don't give because you're expecting things, because the natural way of things is when you give, life immediately gives you back, and
Right.
sometimes even more
Right.
than what you
Right.
gave.
Give it
Yeah.
out in slices. It comes
well,
back in
yeah.
lumps.
It's like you
Yeah,
plant you
aw.
plant a seed, and you get a tree that is going to give you millions of seeds.
Right.
You know,
Right.
so nature is abundant, but we also have to take care of it. No, we have to be smart about it. We cannot just go and just
We can't
destroy
waste
like
it.
like
Right.
you know, we cannot ignore the fact that we're not going to be able to eat a dollar bill eventually,
Right. Right.
or a bar of gold.
Right. Exactly.
You know, we need to understand that nature, we have it here when we should have it over here, because it is because of a tree that we have the shade that we can survive, not in the sun. You know, there's just so many things that we take for granted from
Right,
nature.
Right.
We're big fans of nature.
I can tell.
Like-
I can tell, and that's
Yeah.
awesome. Well, I want to make sure you have enough time in order to talk about your brick and mortar
Yes.
store, because that's exciting stuff. You've been doing that for a while now. So tell us a little about how that evolved and where that came from, and kind of what that's looking like.
It evolved because we've had a restaurant in Mexico, and we've kind of been in this whole idea of we love to serve, we love to have that experience again at some point. But since we started the whole catering part, we've always had the idea of like, oh, it'll be so much fun if we can have a restaurant. It'll be so much fun if we can have a restaurant. And then, but we continue with the
The
catering.
culinary circus is fun, but sometimes you're like, I wish the culinary circus stayed
Yeah.
in
It'd
one
be
place,
kind of-
and
roots
people
would be
would
down.
come to the circus.
Instead of going, it would be nice to come
Yeah.
Right,
to
right.
us. And after 6 years, you really do get tired. It is.
I'm not
you
getting
know,
any younger.
I'm not getting younger either. Yeah, and my knees, and you know, you're like, oh shit, I'm 40 years old, and like I gotta like wink.
It's starting to creak when you get
Let
older.
me
It's like,
put a
"Good,
little
they
bit
used
of
to do
oil
that."
before I start the
Yeah.
day. If I don't stretch at night, I can't move for 2 days. So it's like, what is going on? And if this is right now, I can imagine 10 years from
Sure,
now. Holy
sure.
no.
I think
So-
we started seeing all of those
yeah.
things, and
So we started trying to anticipate. Honestly, life in this country is very expensive compared to the other countries that we've lived. So it demands you to produce a lot of money that goes to so many other people in order for you to keep a slice of your pie.
Right.
And that's just the way it is here, and we've learned to understand it and love it, and it has taken us a lot of time into it. But one of the things that was happening is that we were having clients coming and saying like, when can I have your food other than a wedding? I cannot be crashing
Literally
weddings to try
complaining,
your food.
Nathan.
I get
It's
it.
not
Totally
like
get it.
literally
It's not
like
fair.
it's not fair, and
we're
we're like,
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh, I totally get it.
What can't we do? It's
Yeah,
not
well,
fair that we have to crush weddings to get your food. We're like, I'm sorry.
Just create an event just so that we can eat your food.
Yeah, we were doing that,
Yeah.
but it's tiring. It's you because it's a whole production. It's when you create an event, it's a production, it's a show, you got to move so many pieces in
It's
order
like
for
doing
it
a
to
tour,
happen.
literally. It's like creating a stage every day because you're putting a show today in Denver and then tomorrow you're in Wyoming.
Oh yeah.
When you go and show a house, it's a production. You know, you produce the house. Everything is staged in a way so it looks pretty.
So it looks the
A lot
best.
goes into it.
You
No,
know,
it's
you
the
know
best.
what to say, when to say, depending on your client and what moment and all that kind of stuff. And you start realizing that that's kind of the flow of it. So we were like, fuck, I just want to be in the kitchen and just cook food and just whip it out and here, enjoy it. And we put all the love into it. So eventually my brother moved from Mexico as well. And 2019,
Yeah.
like November,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh my God, poor you.
Yeah,
I
dude,
know.
perfect
No,
timing.
November, I know. And then it
Perfect
was like,
timing.
wham.
He literally got here with his 2 kids and his wife, not like late. They actually got here in December,
Yeah.
and we hit COVID by March. Everybody was in
Right.
their houses, so they got here, and 3 months later, for 2 years, they were in the apartment with their kids.
Oh,
you know,
man.
work was terrible. The situation, we're like, oof, tough time to come to the United States. But
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean,
But he came with a little piggy bank, and he said like, hey, I want to invest in your guys' company, and let's see what to do. And Juli and I, during COVID, we decided we had two things to do. Either we write a book and just kind of sit and wait, or we move forward. And
Juan
then
doesn't sit and wait.
after
Oh, I
like
can't
after
imagine.
after a month, how much that we saw how much life still cost even
Our
with
company,
COVID.
yeah.
We were like, no, we gotta produce something. So we talked to Roberto. Roberto wanted to invest, and we're like, let's just do the kitchen. Why don't we need a kitchen. We were working on a commissary kitchen, and a lot of times it's not fun because they're honestly, they're really not to standard. We're very clean freaks. We're very organized. We love that our surroundings vibrates with our
pretty.
energy. And
Commissary kitchens are dungeons. Horrible. People don't put love because the people that owns the
'Cause they're
commissary
renting it.
kitchen usually is not the people,
Yeah.
the person that uses it.
And
There's
a
no,
lot
like,
of times
pride
they
or
don't
ownership
respect it.
Right,
There's no
right.
exactly. There's no pride. Nothing.
Exactly. There's no respect for the dojo of the kitchen,
Right.
in a way to put it. So we decided we designed our kitchen the way that we thought about it, and we went like into the program, and we hired an architect and the whole thing. And in the middle of there, we were like, all right, why don't we this was for the catering, no? But why don't we do like a storefront, and we can have a menu. We were thinking all these ideas, but we can have a menu. We can just kind of share it with the community.
We tried, that was 2020, no, 2021 it was,
Yeah.
when we tried, so we did this whole thing from mid-2020, and I think it took us from June, and they gave us the kitchen in February
Yeah.
2021. Because obviously during COVID, everything was moving.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there was
Turtle
like three
pace.
people,
Right,
three
right,
people
very
working
Yeah,
in the government.
you were moving 2 steps forward to go back 3. 2 steps forward to go back. It was
Yeah,
impossible.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
at some point we were like, all right, if we're going to give it a chance, 2021 was a good year because there was not a lot of catering. So if we wanted
Everything
to
was
push
stopped. Yeah.
the brick and mortar, we were going to have a little bit more time. We thought. That was March. By the time, so we tried March, and I think
We
we
opened
made
it
it
up.
March, April, and by the time we got to May, catering started picking up again, and we quickly realized that we're like, we're not gonna make it. Like we were waking up at 5 in the morning and going to bed at 12, and I was
Right.
like, Juan, I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
Like,
Sleep
I'm
is
already
important.
skinny.
Yeah.
Like,
And when she was saying, Juan, I'm gonna die, she was trying to wake me up.
I was
Like, Juan.
impossible. I
You're like,
was
"I'm
like,
sleeping
my,
I was
my wrists were hurting, his knees were hurting.
Yeah,
and
we were
like,
changing,
this is
but
not
we
fun.
didn't know. We learned a lot. Like Juli says, we're not businessmen. We're just learning on the. So we started doing like one menu a week, which was a lot of fun. But fuck, it was a lot of work.
Yeah.
So and then eventually we changed from that to something else, and we've been trying different, just different structures of the catering and the catering slash storefront now. Until I think we just kind of found our little niche.
Like a month
like
ago,
a month ago, where when
we landed
when
on
we're like
on an equation, let's
Yeah.
say it like that, on a formula,
pretty
which
much.
is we know catering for us Fridays and Saturdays are super important, and we're very thankful because we at some point we said we just want to do events on Saturday so we can focus on the community for like Tuesday to Friday. Oh my God, it's gonna be so fun! And suddenly we're like, no, because the kitchen takes time to pick up.
Right.
So giving 4 days to the kitchen, and the kitchen, only produces so much, and a catering event gives you so much money. We already know how to do a beautifully produced catering event, and we know how much money it gives us.
We had no idea how to manage a kitchen.
We didn't know how to do the other part. So at some point we were like, we need to do 2 events a week. We love to take 1 weekend off each month, because if you do 2 events a week plus the kitchen, it turns into...
You do it all the time.
Yes, it's horrible and beautiful at the same time.
Right.
So at some point we were like, we can't open Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I mean, that's a beautiful utopia. It doesn't work. So we're not going to do that. We open ourselves again for Fridays and Saturday events. And before you even know, we're getting hit with submission forms of people wanting to do events. Because there's a need for good catering in this town.
Oh, yeah, big time.
And we can provide that. We were just looking for something else, but we also realized, Nathan, in life is not what you want, but it's what you have in front of you, and the opportunity that is in front of you, and the path that's saying that you already know how to do. Why would you struggle to create a new path if you already know how to do this beautifully?
It's like you start a train and it takes a while to start, but once it's running, you just throw a log once in a while.
Right,
and
it just keeps going. It just keeps going.
But we were trying to shift completely, and every time we tried to shift, life was like, no.
Yeah, put you back on track.
This is your path.
Put you back on track.
Yeah, it's like,
we try
this is
so
not your
hard.
choice. This is not your choice.
Yeah.
When are you going to understand that this is my choice, life's choice?
Yeah.
So we were like surrendered to it, and we're like, you know what? Let's do the catering, da-da-da. But then we still wanted to put in there those 2 days of the brick and mortar. So we put it Thursday and Friday. And then instead of having every week a menu, now we're doing every month a theme. So like this month of February, we have American cuisine, which I am so ready to be done so we can move to the next one. Right. And I'm sure a bunch of you outside have tried our food too. Thank you for the support, obviously. So we're actually thinking of doing Italian cuisine for the next month.
Yeah.
So we're already looking into recipes, and we're all excited about it.
Ooh, sounds good.
And we're also working a little bit there. We don't know when it's going to happen, to open it up as a coffee, to have a coffee bar, so we can start selling a lot of the sweets.
We have a beautiful pastry chef. Her name is Marley, and she's been working with us for like 3 years. And she does, honestly, I'm not, like, I like sweets, but I'm not obsessed with sweets. And in weddings, you try, cakes are in your face every week and twice a week.
Yeah.
So you got like tartlets and all this kind of stuff. Right. So you're always trying, because you're there and they're like, oh my God, did you try this poppy seed, blah, blah, and there's stuff in your face.
You're like, how is it? It's like, gold crumbly, it's good. No, but I was like,
so more times than not.
Most of the times they're great. Just the palate in this culture is overly sweet for us.
Yes.
And Marley's really good at balancing those things. So we found Marley loves to bake, which I like to make breads, but I'm not a pastry chef, because it's the mathematics of what we do, and I'm not into mathematics.
We love more
at all.
like a witch, like a pinch of this.
Yeah, exactly. To be free.
Where's a measuring spoon? A what?
A what?
A what?
A measuring
It's
spoon?
called a pinch. A big pinch.
My hand? Yes, perfect. So with Marley, we realized that there's also a need for good sweets in this town. People like their sweets. They're obviously beautiful too to look at, and very enjoyable.
But one of the things that we realize also in weddings and events is that most of the times people don't eat the dessert because they're overly sweet.
Right.
But they still make them overly sweet. So we're like trying to change that. And part of our philosophy of what we're doing in our kitchen is we're a teaching kitchen. So we appreciate the patients out there. And if we're teaching new kids, new young minds that they want to be also artists, they also want to come out and create their own business. So we're teaching them everything that we've been learning, that this community taught us as well, and our friends out there. So we're kind of passing along all those.
We don't have kids, but we have plenty of seats out there.
So we can enrich the community and pass along all this knowledge that we've gathered through books and people and friends and everything into the cuisine. So we have right now in our team, we have Marley Mosley, who's a pastry chef. And she's starting.
She already launched her.
She's starting her company. So we said to her, all right, we'll give you all the wedding cakes. You do all the wedding cakes. We'll help you launch. We're giving her all the advices to what to do with the SBA and this and that. And the name is Butterfly Bakery.
Butterfly Bakery.
And hopefully you're gonna see that more and more outside. But so we're doing like a collaboration right now between Juli Y Juan's Kitchen and Butterfly Bakery, where she's the pastry of Juli Y Juan's Kitchen, but at the same time she's developing on her wing. So eventually. Our idea that every time everybody walks into our let's say our dojo and our kitchen, we're like, we expect for you to fly off eventually.
Oh yeah.
If you find a comfort zone here, you're gonna fly earlier than you wish.
Like we want Marley to learn and to thrive with us, but we want her to thrive on her
Ultimately,
own.
you're
Yes.
after
Of
that
course.
growth.
Yes. And
because
that's like we love them. But
Right.
the idea is for them to be independent like we are in
Right,
our lives.
right.
And we want, hopefully, everyone to be who wants to be an entrepreneur.
Right.
Because if you hold on to this company that is giving you the comfort zone, the platform, you'll
Right.
stay there.
And
Yeah,
you
you just
stop.
don't grow.
Yeah.
And you stop.
You
You
need to
stop
push them.
creating. You stop pushing yourself. You stop doing all these necessity things, which is the
Need
beauty.
drives you.
Yeah, the necessity drives you a lot, and it
Right.
teaches you also how to appreciate certain things that you took for granted because you had them in your table. No,
Makes sense.
so we try to teach them all these lessons of life, which don't only apply in the kitchen, but applies everywhere that you do.
Right.
So Marley is one of them. We also have a
So where I was going is we want to start selling also, for example, like cakes for if you have a birthday. So you can start thinking about us as, oh my God, maybe, a carrot cake. And
Right.
yeah,
so it's
tres
not
leches
just
cake,
so it's not
or-
just savory food, but we want to start infusing the community with some sweets that we believe are good too, that they're
Yeah.
pretty, that
Yeah, so if you actually go into our website, www.juliyjuan.com, you can find like a section now for desserts. We have a menu there, and you can check all the desserts, and it's divided by if it's wedding desserts or stuff like that, or if it's for like a station, or if it's just for, like I said, a birthday, or et cetera, et cetera.
It's funny, but it's hard for us to stay with one concept, Nathan. Like we,
Well,
this
it's
is
good that you do something different each month for the
yeah.
store.
Honestly, this is the year of consistency with us.
Yeah.
I think we're overachievers, so we're always trying to do something different and something fun,
Right,
something new.
right.
And at some point, we realized that that's not necessarily good either because you never focus on one thing.
Right, right.
So we're trying to do that and not branching too much, but continue to have fun with different adventures. Maybe
Yeah.
Sure.
things that pop in once in a while that are different for a little bit, and then So we're trying to. We know we need to keep it simple because catering, it's a big chunk of what we do, and it continues to take a good amount of time. But the kitchen now is like a new baby. So we want to have fun with this baby and see how much we can do without taking value from our catering, which we love to do too.
Yeah,
and we
we
need the
put
energy
like
from
we
it.
have like 3 little bistro tables on the outside, and this new concept that we're doing, we're calling it it's like a pickup and delivery bistro. And what we're trying to do is to grab the concept of pickup and delivery and to elevate it to a point where when you get the food, it doesn't feel like they played soccer before it got to your
Right,
house.
right, right.
Which
Yeah.
I don't know what they
Looks
do,
like it,
but
or-
you buy a burger and then it gets to your house and it's like, did you stomp over it before you?
How
Well,
did you make it look like this?
I
Yeah,
know.
so, and the things that we're doing, like in the boxes, like we send everything warm and ready to go. You can pre-order and all that kind of stuff. But we're also taking the opportunity because we know that we're living in a moment right now that it's heavy politically, it's heavy on division, it's heavy on all these different things that we haven't really lived this strongly in this country
The
for
economy
since I
has
know
struggled.
the economy, all that stuff. So we believe in positivism, and we believe that positivism puts us together and brings the best version of ourselves. We believe that every human has a really bad version and a really great version.
Right.
And depending what you feed every day and your actions and your decisions of the life that puts you in front of you, you keep growing one side of yourself or the other. So one of the things that we're starting to do is to infuse the community, like in the little boxes, we always put like a positive message. So when you
maybe
open
like,
up the box,
you're awesome, or you're beautiful no matter
because
what.
how
or
many
enjoy
times you've been
food,
going
or-
through a day and it's rough, and then suddenly you're driving and then there's a billboard that says a phrase that changes your day.
Yeah, it's just so many people they need a word of encouragement.
Yeah.
I send out personal notes to thank people and so forth. And it's funny because one of the sales trainers that I was listening to was talking about how that might be the only bit of encouraging word that they get for the day or the week.
Yes.
or
And we
the
need
or
more
even
of
the
that.
It's
month,
amazing,
Nathan.
yeah.
And
And
we
how
need
much
it.
how much that
It
can
helps.
change you.
Yeah.
Maybe you're going through a rough time, and that phrase that you gave to that person will change everything. The perspective, the feeling. Maybe you gave it's the right set of words too that might trigger that change in that person.
Yeah, and you just never know what
Yeah.
impact. you
Exactly, and you send it without expecting anything in return.
Right.
It's like we believe in the power of intention, and you'll say, yeah, BS intention or all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, well, if you're married and you're wearing a ring, what do you think the ring represents? If you're gonna play soccer and you wear your lucky shorts, what do you think that means?
Right.
That power that you put to those lucky shorts it's the power of intention. So
Right.
we believe a lot into the power of intention in everything that we do. So every time we create a meal, we put all the intention, all the love, everything that we believe that once you put it in your mouth and you put it in your body, it will transfer that intention from our thoughts and our actions, from the nature, from the animal, from everybody, everything. You eat it, you put it in you, and it's just like.
Right.
And that's why we believe, and it feels like we always say, you can feel the love.
I think we wanted to bring a little bit more love into the takeout food.
Yeah, you've done an awesome job with it. So if somebody wants to try your food and enjoy this experience, what's the address of your store?
1232 West Elizabeth, Unit C9.
We're literally next to CSU. It's called West Campus. All of those plazas
Right
are.
in there.
Yeah.
It's where the McDonald's is. There used to be like a Tikka Grill, I think.
Right.
Freak Show Tattoo, which has been in town for like 20
Well,
years.
now it says tattoo and ring. Tattoo
No,
and
well, it
piercings.
doesn't matter. It's right there. You'll
like
see
we're in that little plaza.
Very good.
We're I know we have some parking problems, but they're fixing that. We're gonna have like 2 15-minute spots so people
Excellent.
can
So
come
people
in
can
and
come
out.
and pick up and go.
Yeah,
I think-
curbside is 15.
Whether Thursday and Friday for now, but hopefully
Yeah,
the
And they
next.
can find out what you're serving on the website.
Yes, always
Check
social
that
media
down.
and website. I think is the
Yeah,
easiest
and
way.
we're always kind of tweaking it a little bit. So we have we have the menu, but like we had brisket last week, and this week we decided to do pulled pork instead of with our sauces. So we're gonna tweak it depending on the week. If we have more time because we don't have an event, we'll throw specials. We'll throw some fun stuff that we like to create. Our everything more homemade. Right now, when we do the Italian, we want to do like homemade like raviolis and do the pasta and just kind of bring back a little bit of all those flavors.
But I think definitely social media. It's the
social
fastest
media,
and easiest way. You can even order through social media. Yeah, it's good because if you're on social media and you see, for example, our story and you click on it, on the bottom, if you want to order, if you see it, you're like, oh my God, it looks so good, you can just click on the link and it takes you. So it's super easy. You can always give us a call too. Calls are not that we don't answer, it's just when there's a lot of vibration in the kitchen, it gets busy. So online ordering, I think, is the easiest way.
From 4 to 8 is really hard that we answer the phone because we're in there rolling and then
Rolling with Johnny Cash in the back.
Yeah, we're Johnny Cash. We're starting to put like music from other friends who have like Johnny and the Mongrels, like
local artists that we know
Local
that
artists that-
it's like we need to find a rhythm when you're vibrating. You have so many orders, so it keeps
we have
you.
a speaker in the middle of the kitchen, so we're always just kind of
Like
like
just be jamming back
Yeah,
there.
all trying
yeah.
to figure it
You
out.
know
what-
It all shows in the food. Well, I
Yeah.
really appreciate you being on the show. Thank you so much.
Of course, thank
what
you very
great
much.
stories and so forth. But yeah, I
No,
really
Nathan, thank you
appreciate
so much for inviting us. It's always a pleasure to see you too.
Yeah,
and to
definitely.
talk to you guys.
No, and thank you for opening up this channel, and we're very excited for what's coming. We're moving slowly because we learned that that's the way to do, but
Bear with us.
expect
Well, I'm
a little
excited
bit
for
like
you. I'm excited for you.
soon. Hopefully, we'll have like lunch, and soon we'll have like breads and bakery like that. We have another kid who's starting that, so we're there. We're trying to figure out how to continue.
Continue.
To enrich the culinary side of
Yeah.
this community.
Awesome.
As we see all the support that the community has given us. So we're super grateful, honestly, amazingly grateful for everything that you guys have done, because it is because of you guys that we keep doing it, and it is because of you guys that we can do what we love to do.
Right.
And there's nothing more grateful than that every time that you wake up and you're like, I'm going to go and do what I love to do.
That is awesome. That's a great experience. Well, thank you again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.